welcome Mr. Kevin Alejandro. Good morning, good morning. And the big man himself, Mr. Tom Ellis.
Sunday morning. It's like being in church, isn't it? Exactly.
A few more lights.
Where do you worship?
It's really great. We're awake. Are you awake now?
I'm a bit like that now. Okay, did you all have a good time yesterday? Did anyone tell you any spoilers?
Maybe.
Everything. Amy, of
Yes.
course.
You just can't trust those angels.
Amy was actually good.
Amy was good in terms of not telling you.
Yes.
Okay. That is good.
I don't believe you.
Progress. Right, what happens now? Okay.
We have question mics on either side of the stage, so we're going to go ahead and start on this side.
Okay.
Oh, wait, they're standing, not raising hands.
Oh, yeah, okay. Works.
Okay.
Hi there.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Woo.
Really well.
So my question is, I'm a Supernatural fan, and this is the first
Who's going to break it here?
Tricia, you've been on Supernatural, so let's okay, be fair. I'm a Supernatural fan. This is the first non-Supernatural convention I've gone to. So, yay for you.
You're welcome.
But I wanted to ask about Richard Speight directing your episode, because he's from Supernatural, and I wanted to know how that went.
Honestly, I called Richard after I watched season 4, and I called him to tell him that I thought his episode was the best episode of the season.
Which one did you direct?
I've known Richard for a while, and he's a lovely, lovely man. He's a great actor, but he's also revealing himself to be a really, really talented director.
Yes.
Because it's not easy to come onto a set you've never worked on before and just get it and deal with people and deal with everything that's going on, the dynamics between different people. And he just did it in the best way possible, with style, grace, humour, and he did so much preparation that we never were ever panicking on the set about anything. We felt comfortable, and that's just the best possible way it can be. But he's really, really talented.
Yeah, it also helps to have an actor on that side, because there's a certain communication that we understand, between each other, and he was able to just sort of communicate on a different level, which I think is super helpful.
Cool.
Shorthand, like Donald Trump.
Thank you.
That's one.
Hi. So I've been thinking for a few weeks about what questions I'm going to ask, because I wanted to ask something good. But before I say that, I wanted to ask Tom, and not all Toms, to make a statement. I'm just sitting here in this aisle over here. If you do like a pass the parcel thing now or later, row 5.
Row 5.
Yeah, over here in the aisle, 31, okay. Karen, yeah, right there.
I got you.
But my question is more like, I don't know, I was wanting to ask something a little bit more like, why people love this show so much, besides like the amazing acting and the cast and everything, is the philosophical aspect of the show, and like, the touches on so many different themes like free will and, the power that people have, and, maybe so many things, biblical and stuff. So my question is, do you guys, as Tom, Kevin, and Tricia, do you guys talk about it within each other or with others about the philosophical things that this show is all about? Because that's what excites me, like to talk about it with other people and how interact with them about that.
I don't know if it's all on an individual basis with each script. I mean, we certainly have dialogue, and if there is an aspect that is kind of overtaking the entire episode, then yes, you would touch on it and you would have a discussion about it. But quite often, you're, at least for myself, you're breaking, you know, that's the overarching, and then you're breaking it down into particular scenes and moments for your character and between characters. So I don't know, I think because we're all kind of aware of the overarching themes, that those aren't necessarily points of discussion as much as the more minutiae of the scenes.
I just mean in your personal lives, like outside of the...
Do we talk about stuff philosophically?
Yeah, about the themes of it.
Never. We're talking about
Cats.
talk about how many likes we got. No, I think one thing I would say about this group that we've had for the last few years is that we're all adults. We're all yeah, we're all nearly 30. We've all had, you know, a nice chunk of life experience before the gift of Lucifer came into our lives, basically. And so I think that there are things we do talk about from a much deeper level than, you know, would be what would assume would happen when we're having fun at work and all that sort of stuff. I think, you know, the common denominator amongst all of us is that we don't take ourselves too seriously in what we do. We take our job seriously, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. We're able to laugh. And I think if you can laugh in life, you need to. It's a very important tool to have. But like, we can laugh at ourselves, we can enjoy what we're creating together. And actually, weirdly, it's not till I watch the show back that the bigger sort of philosophical discussions come up. Because as Tricia says, when we're doing it, we're right in the moment doing it, and we're thinking about the characters and not how that is coming across so much.
We talk about it mostly with you guys. You guys help us realize, you know, to an even deeper extent what we're creating, you know. We're in it, and we try to do things in a realistic, honest way, and then to see how it affects our audience and certain people really, you know, heightens our job to a different level.
And I think that there's an honesty by which we all approach it, where we're not trying to teach people lessons, we're not trying to be didactic. We're just doing a show that I think we all love doing because we think it's entertaining, but the deeper messages that come out of that show are just kind of like wonderful byproducts. And the fact that, you know, the best thing about any kind of art form that you go and see, whether it's theatre or you go to the opera or you go to a gig and watch the music, to come away and talk about and have a dialogue about what you just watched, and to sense that you've had a different experience to someone else, or you've had a collective experience about something, that's the beauty of any kind of like good art form or good show or good movie. And you guys talking about it has made us feel like we've done something all pretty decent.
Great question.
Hello, well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. My question is for Kevin. Kevin.
Dun, dun, dun.
Be careful what you ask. You're going to get an answer.
My question is, surely you think Lucifer is human. When you find out, and I know you have to find out this is the last season, when you find out that when you find out,
Kill TV.
actually he didn't say anything. When you find out that Lucifer is actually the devil, are you gonna do like a flashback of all the shit you talked about him? Are you gonna like, holy shit, I just talked shit about the devil, even to his face? And
I think the first thing he's going to do is say, I'm so sorry. I swear, man, you're the coolest guy ever. I love you, man, I love you.
And Tom, will you give him a Hail Mary, or you just gonna be like, alright?
Oh, I'm gonna just watch him unravel. Coming up for air. Help.
You're going to be like that little chihuahua and that bulldog in cartoon. What is it? Jumping around this giant man.
Oh, thank you so much.
That'll be a funny montage.
Hi, folks. This is for Tom and Tricia. I know you guys, I know, Tom, you're a fan of Battlestar, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, and so am I. I gotta ask this. So, Tricia, when you were cast as Mom Charlotte, did you guys, when you guys did your first scenes together, were there any embarrassing or fanboy moments?
Well, Tom split his pants. When he catches me coming out of the elevator, which was nice.
At the back, not the front.
You were very sweet, and you mentioned it before we started, which made me relax a little bit because, you know, you're coming into a show that's already going. It's one thing if you start the show together. Coming into a show can be really difficult because it's already a family, right? But you guys just made me really welcome right off the start, and you did fanboy a little bit.
I did.
I think the first thing he said, he goes, score.
It was a bit discombobulating, I'm not going to lie. Because I was a huge Battlestar Galactica fan, and you know, there were some rather sexy characters in that show, mostly played by Tricia. And you know, I did at the time I was watching Battlestar, I think, God, I wonder if I'll ever meet that person one day. And I did, and they were playing my mum. So that was an instant, boner killer. No, it was, I was delighted that they cast Tricia, and then I just was even more delighted after that first day at work. We had a really big scene our first day together, and it was just, there was that slight weird thing of like, we talked about it before, of how are people going to buy into this, this notion that you're my mum, whatever, but it was really weird. We started doing the scene, and I believed Tricia was my mum.
Sinner.
It was very edible.
Hi, Tom.
Hello.
I'm from Quebec City, Canada. So, excuse me in advance if my English isn't perfect.
But your Canadian's great.
So first, I want to say congratulations on your recent wedding.
Thank you very much. It's true.
And I have two questions about cameos. So first, we know that Netflix has a TV show for Sandman universe. So do you think there's gonna be a cameo of the Lucifer universe inside of it? And second, one of my favorite episodes is when Lucifer meets Rachel, ex-husband, portrayed by Patrick Fabian. So do you know, is there an actor or an actress that you would like to have on the show to have another cameo?
Oh, I mean, there's so many actors or actresses I'd love to have on the show. One of the sort of nice things I've been learning recently is about various fans who are quite famous, and I've been getting a bit like, oh my God. One of whom was an email, did I tell you this? I got an email last week from Christiane, who's one of our producers at Brookhaven TV, and she was like, in fact, I've got my phone, I don't think I've got my phone on me. I'm gonna basically shorthand it for you, but basically, Christiane emailed me and said, I have to share this with you, Tom, because I just had one of those experiences I never thought I'd have. We just had a meeting with Snoop Dogg. About something completely different, but it came up in the meeting when Christiane said she was one of the producers of Lucifer. He was like, what? Shit! And he went on to talk about how he loves Lucifer and he watches it in his recording studio with his homies. And that boy Lucifer was the motherfucking shit. So when I found that out, I was like, do you think we can get him on the show? So a cameo for Snoop Dogg would be amazing.
And what about Sandman?
I'm still waiting for that call, to be perfectly honest. No, honestly, I don't know. I've not heard anything at all about it. But if that call were to come, let's just see.
Thank you.
Hi, my question's for Tom, and it's, do you miss anything from Europe that you don't have here?
Architecture?
PG tips. You
Culture? Yeah, good one.
can't say a leader anymore. You got Boris Johnson.
No, my children. It's weird. I mean, there are certain elements, like, for example, I was on my ride in this morning, my driver was from Leeds, which is just up the road from where I'm from. And all of a sudden, I started talking like that, because we were just like talking like that about football and that, and they were like, brilliant. And he was like, oh, I can hear Northern coming out. I was like, that's because I've been in the car with you for like 5 minutes. I miss the kind of bantery nature of Brits, the kind of consistently ribbing each other and, you know, that sense of humour. It sort of flows back and forth a bit easier than it does here sometimes for me, because most of the time people go, what? What'd you say? But, you know, I've made some amazing friends here. You know, I love being here and living here, and, you know, there's always things you miss from anywhere you've been, but I wouldn't swap where I am right now.
Thank you.
Hi. Thank you for saying didactic and discombobulated.
Those are my list of D words.
So I have a question, and if it's a bomb, I have a backup. Because I don't know much about the technical, but the devil voice is sometimes digitally enhanced, obviously. And in the scene in the bar with Dramos, when you say, all good demons, time to go home, I wanted to know if that was not electronically enhanced, if that was just you. And if the answer is yes, could you do it for us again right now? And if the answer is no, I have a backup question.
Okay. The answer, so basically, the day before we shot that scene in the bar, we spent 2 days shooting the big finale where Lucifer does that thing where, you know, becomes the devil. And even though they were digitally enhancing my voice for it, I still just went for it on the day, on that stage of telling them all to bow down. So the next day, when we came to shoot that scene in the bar, I had no voice. So we shot the scene, and I had to, what we call ADR, I had to ADR the majority of that scene, which is like re-record it over the top. And I knew at the time I'd have to do it, because there was like no noise coming out. But there was occasionally a few gravelly tones that I did manage to hit, and that was one of them, so that was genuine, that one.
So you'll do it again for us?
Dance monkey.
It's time for all good demons to go home.
Hi, this is for all 3 of you, and you can just give me a quick yes if you want. For season 5, can you can you positively, confidentially, emphatically, categorically, definitely, conclusively, unmistakably, undeniably, absolutely, wholeheartedly, undeniable, without a doubt, on Boy Scout honor, cross your heart, promise me season 5 will have a happy ending for everybody?
No.
Well, as I said to my masseuse,
Just you, Tom.
as I said to my masseuse yesterday, who doesn't love a happy ending? That's not true.
Oh, that Tom. Typical Tom.
A jest. You missed out indubitably as well, by the way.
Probably couldn't pronounce it.
I'm not at liberty to say. I'm not at liberty to say, but what do you think?
I think it should be happy, happy, happy.
I think that it's definitely going to end.
You know, anybody can do a sad ending. Happy endings are really unusual today. I mean, you know, everybody's got a sad ending in the story. So.
Who wants a happy ending? Who wants a sad ending?
What are you laughing at?
I think What I would say, right, rather than happy or sad, endings I love are endings that have hope. Right, my favourite movie in the world is The Shawshank Redemption, because I think it's the greatest story about hope. So that's what I hope we will leave you with.
That's great, thank you.
He's damn good.
Hi. Oh my god, this is crazy. Okay, so this is a question for all you guys. When you first read through the scripts in the previous seasons, was there ever a specific moment or scene that genuinely caught you off guard or you didn't expect to see?
Whatever just popped into my head, I wasn't even in, but it was your and Kane's, your little Speedo and the party with the wood chipper. That was fun to watch, and I think reading it was fun to imagine how they were going to fight.
I think for me it was when they said that I was going to make out with Tricia Helfer. I win.
I then got you back. In your episode you were directing. Yeah. Anyway, actually, one of the big moments like that for me was the last season when Dan and Ella start making out. Even though we'd all read the script and we were sitting in the read through, and it got to that bit in the read through, and we all went, oh! And then when I watched it, even bigger, I was like, oh! I knew it was coming, but still. It was like watching my kids.
I was watching it on my couch, and I got jealous.
Thank you. Morning.
Morning.
Hello. Thank you all so much for putting such life and effort into these awesome characters. They're nuanced, they're surprising, so thank you. I really appreciate that. My question is actually, do you have any interest in working on the other side of the camera? I know it takes away, from your ability to act at the time, but either on this or in an upcoming project, any interest in directing or writing or that side of the industry?
Yeah, for me.
Yeah, I mean, phenomenal director already, if you haven't seen something. Not only the Lucifer episode, but all the shorts, and I was fortunate enough to be directed by him twice now. One of your shorts and on Lucifer.
Yeah. So I'm definitely interested in doing the other side of the camera. I think, are you guys?
Down the line, maybe directing, but more producing. I think I'm more in terms of wanting to find a story and be the one saying.
Yeah, putting it all together, producing.
Yeah, putting it all together.
Yeah, I think producing. I think I'd probably go down the road of producing rather than directing. One of the I hate I can't stand watching myself. I never watch anything certainly when we're shooting. I'll watch playbacks on the monitors and stuff because I get into my head a little bit. So having to direct on a set of something that I was in, I don't know how I would broach that one. It's a bit tricky for me. I think maybe I would enjoy directing something I wasn't in, for sure. But certainly, like moving forward, I'd like to produce a bit more and get people together to make something.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He's jet lagged.
Did you just teleport?
Is that apple juice?
It's my turn. This is for Tricia. Between Charlotte and Mom, and I'm sure you've been asked this question many times, which one did you like the best, and what did you get out of both of them?
It's hard to, I like them both. If I had to choose, just because Mom was the first one, right? That was my introduction to the show, and she was a lot of fun. But with Charlotte, to me, she kind of had with her story and trying to redeem herself and become a better person. And it was personally a very difficult year for me in my personal life. I mean, I wasn't overtaken by a goddess, but
Yeah, you
but
were.
it was
That happened when you were born.
Damn, you're good.
I know.
But there were a few scenes in there that were almost like a little bit, even though I was talking about different things, like a scene with when Charlotte finally allows herself to tell her hell loop to Linda, and to finally, it was other things were in my head, and it was almost like a therapy session. So through Charlotte, there was a closeness to Charlotte, even though we were going through completely different things.
Hello. My question is for Tom. I know you had to have dots on your face when you shot a lot of the devil scenes, and I know a lot of those scenes are really supposed to be like emotional and heavy and intimate. So I was just curious how that played out when you guys were trying to shoot, because I don't know, I think it's like kind of funny, this idea, you know what I mean, how like you and Lauren had to be really like serious, but you had that whole thing.
I mean, doing a scene with Lauren German without dots on your face is hard enough to not laugh. I basically, so the good thing was we shot Lauren's coverage without dots on my face and all that business, and then when they turned the cameras around, I had to go and put this like flesh-coloured swimming cap on, and then dot my face with the black stuff, and I look like Uncle Fester with measles. Measles. And Lauren kind of reminded me of that every second. I mean, it's that classic thing of like, we've got to keep it tight while the cameras are rolling, but like, yeah, she really laid into me that day. And she had a lot of fun putting the bald cap on herself, going, "Hold me, Tom!" and other mature things that Lauren does.
Thank you.
Hi. Okay, so my question is, if you could be on any TV show besides Lucifer, what would it be? But you would have to play your Lucifer character on it.
I'd be on Daredevil. Yeah, that's a really well-made, cool show.
Oh, yeah.
Tricia?
I'm drawing a blank.
Or Euphoria. Bunch of kids doing drugs. I am Detective Douche. Into your pockets.
I don't know, actually. I mean, it'd be really funny to pop up in the West Wing or something like that. So this is the White House, is it? Yeah. I don't know. I think like any kind of... I've always said I'd love to be in The Simpsons. That could be quite fun. Someone once drew a Lucifer Simpsons character, and I thought, oh, that could be quite fun. But I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Thank you.
What's the Seth MacFarlane Orville?
Oh, the Orville.
No, it just popped into my head. Mom on the in Orville land could be interesting.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Hi.
Hi.
So my question is for each of you. Each of your characters has a unique relationship with the other. What is your favorite scene that you got to film with each of you?
With each other here.
Yes, just.
I mean, the whole Lucifer, the first Lucifer episode that we did, was just so much fun. Because, well, for obvious reasons, I just got to like take the piss out of Dan for the whole
time. But he also got to take the piss out of me.
Yeah.
He was just like watching me all the time, like, "Fuck, dude, I'm insecure. Stop it." That's really how I stand. Come on.
So I didn't notice you did that when you walked. Yeah. My hands on the hips as well. You call it BGS, don't you?
Latin, I got moved.
So that was a lot of fun. And then we had one dog is my favourite sort of still shot of the whole show, where it's you in the back, no, me in the front seat with the dog and you in the back seat. Yeah.
And I actually look like the dog. And making out with Tricia. That was another great moment.
I liked, well, the scene where we get drunk and and you take your clothes off in the restaurant. My mom was on set that day. I'm like, Mom, you're gonna get to come see a fun scene. She was very happy.
So proud.
She's made it. She really made it. Well, they just pulled the plug on us, unfortunately.
Oh.
No. Well, this is how we keep this thing working. It's a well-oiled machine, right? We got to keep it moving, and that way we'll hit our marks throughout the day. There are quite a few marks to hit. So, won't you join me in thanking them for being with us? Thank you, Tricia Helfer.